All right, all praises be to the Most High God, Yahweh, and His only begotten Son, whose name is Yahweh Shai. Barakatah Yahweh and Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Call Halo Yamla Yahweh. Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Just wanted to praise the name of the Most High God, Yahweh, and His only begotten Son, whose name is Yahweh Shai. It's the book of Job 38, in verse 36. It says, "Who hath put wisdom in the inward parts, or who hath given understanding to the heart?" And what makes a man, foolish is the lack of wisdom, prudence, and discretion. The lack of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. That makes a man foolish by nature. So let me go here to the book of Job, or Ayawab 32. Job 32, in verse 8. It says, "But there is a spirit in man, and the inspiration of the Almighty, whose name is Yahweh the Most High, and the inspiration of the Almighty giveth them understanding." Let's go forward to the book of Job, the 33rd chapter. Job, or Ayawab 33, and verse 3. It says, "My words shall be of the uprightness of my heart, and my lips shall utter knowledge clearly. The Spirit of the Most High hath made me, and the breath of the Almighty hath given me life." So the breath of the Almighty, this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and prudence, is what gives us life. The scriptures also say it maketh us friends to the Most High, because the Most High loveth none, Wisdom of Solomon 7:28, but them that dwell with wisdom. So this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, this prudence, this discretion that we have by way of the Holy Spirit is what maketh us near unto the Most High, Yahweh, and His Son, whose name is Yahweh Shai. So a man that lacked that is known in the Bible as a foolish man. A foolish man lack wisdom. It's the book of Proverbs 14. And the scriptures also tell us that foolish men don't understand judgment. That's the lack of wisdom. Proverbs 14 and verse 33, it says, "Wisdom resteth in the heart of him that hath understanding, but that which is in the midst of a fool is made known." Let's read that again. Proverbs 14 and 33, "Wisdom resteth in the heart of him that hath understanding, but that which is in the midst of fools is made known." Now, this is Proverbs 14 and 33 in the NLT. It says, "Wisdom is enshrined in an understanding heart. Wisdom is not found among fools." So wisdom is not found with the foolish of our people, right? The non-elect would be found lacking or wanting wisdom. Proverbs 24 and 7, "Wisdom is too high for a fool. He openeth not his mouth in the gate." Reading it again, Proverbs 24 and 7, "Wisdom is too high for a fool." So this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding is not found amongst those who are foolish. It says it's too high for a fool. It says he openeth not his mouth in the gate. And a fool is not going to actually promote righteousness and not stand for it. Now let's get this word for a fool, because it said it's too high for a fool. Now for a fool here is H191. So the word fool here goes back to being evil. So to be a fool means to be evil. Now when you look at the word evil and you say it backwards, it's L-I-V-E. To live backwards is to be foolish. So a fool is someone that, once again, is, what did it say here? A fool is someone that's evil. So that's highly spiritual. So to be foolish means literally to be evil, and to be evil means to live backwards, to live opposite of righteous, or to be in error. Now the word foolish, to be foolish, of one who despises wisdom. So a man that despises wisdom is a foolish man or a evil man. So the word literally goes back to being evil. So one who despises wisdom means he's evil. Of one who mocks when guilty. Of one who is quarrelsome. So that's a person that's contentious. Of one who is licentious. Let's get the word for licentious. One that is licentious. Dissolute, dissipated. A degenerate. A degenerate. One that is a degenerate. Let's get, what is this word? Degenerate. Lacking some property, order, or distinctness of structure previously or usually present. One that doesn't have structure, that doesn't have a foundation. The believers have the foundation in Yahushua. So a fool is someone that is evil. And one that is evil despises wisdom. Now that brings this to mind. Who are those that despise wisdom? Let's stay here. Go in the book of Proverbs, the 1st chapter. Those that despise wisdom. Proverbs 1:20. Wisdom crieth without. She uttereth her voice, it says, in the streets. So wisdom is found in the streets amongst the righteous, amongst the men of the Lord. That's where wisdom is found. Proverbs 1:20 again. Wisdom crieth without. She uttereth her voice in the streets. She crieth in the chief place of concourse, in the openings of the gates. In the city she uttereth her words, saying, verse 22 in the point, how long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? And the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. Let's get that word for fools again. Let's see if it's indeed the same. It says, fools hate knowledge. Fool, stupid fellow, dullard, a simpleton, arrogant one. So a man also that would be foolish could be, the word said evil, or it says a fool, stupid, to be stupid. The Most High makes it simple about his people. He uses these words that stupid, a dullard, a simpleton, and arrogant. Being arrogant, being full of pride. So this is all used to describe those who are contrary, or who are against the Most High's wisdom, who won't, comprehend it, believe it, apply it, or live it. So it said, that's one that is foolish, simpleton, a dullard, arrogant, and stupid. Jeremiah 4:22, for my people is foolish. Most High said his people are foolish. Let's get the word for foolish here. He said his people are foolish. Yep, it goes back to what we read in Proverbs 24:7, that wisdom is too high for a fool. So the Most High said his people are foolish, which goes back to evil again. To be foolish, one who despises wisdom. Jeremiah 4:22, for my people is foolish. They have not known me. And that's what makes, 2/3 of our nation known also as the children of disobedience. What makes them foolish is they don't have knowledge of the Most High. They are sottish children, and they have none understanding. Sottish means stupid. One of the definitions we saw, in the previous verse, that fools hate knowledge. And one of the things that makes them foolish is that they don't know the Most High. They are sottish. They're stupid. They have none understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge. So that makes it clear how the Most High sees his people. Now, as it pertains to wisdom, let's stay here in Proverbs before we continue on. The 1st chapter, Proverbs 1 and verse 7. It says, the fear of the Lord Yahweh is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. So a fool is going to despise wisdom and instruction. He's going to despise the word. He's going to despise the truth. So he's going to always be, adverse to what is right. That's how a foolish man is known. It's the book of Amos, the 5th chapter. It's the book of Amos 5. Going to the point in verse 10, it says, they hate him that rebuketh in the gate, and they abhor him that speaketh uprightly. So to abhor means to hate, to despise. So our people despise wisdom and knowledge and understanding, discretion. So they hate those that actually stand for truth. So they said that it says here in Amos 5:10, they hate him that rebuketh in the gate, and him that speaketh uprightly. Let's get the word for uprightly. They hate him that speaketh uprightly. Uprightly, H8549. It says complete, whole, entire, sound, one that is of a sound mind, right? Who's not walking drunkard, who's not walking as a drunkard, in wantonness of sin, right? In the lust of the flesh. So one that is whole, and it says sound in mind, complete, whole, sound, and healthful. It says sound and wholesome, unimpaired, meaning not drunken by the philosophies, the ways of the world. Innocent, having integrity. This truth is what is going to be ultimately what gives exemption to the believers. So that's the innocence, and it says having integrity. And having integrity is standing for the words of the Most High Yahweh and the Son Yahweh Shai. Right? That's the elect that have integrity. Now, let's go back. Amos 5:10 again. They hate him that rebuketh in the gate, and they abhor him that speaketh uprightly. So those that speak uprightly and stand for truth are abhorred or hated. They are abhorred or hated. It's the book of Wisdom of Solomon 1 and verse 1. It says, love righteousness, ye that be judges of the earth. So one of the main attributes of a man that has this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that would be of the elect is that he would love righteousness. And those are the future judges of the earth. Ye that be judges of the earth, think of the Adawan with a good heart, and in simplicity of heart, seek him. And Yahweh Shah told us that, that the Most High, that it's a simplicity that is in the anointed Yahweh Shai. He's not the author of confusion. So in simplicity of the heart, we're supposed to seek the Most High. This is very simple. It's plain unto the holy, but a stumbling block unto the wicked. Verse 2, Wisdom of Solomon 1 and 2. For he will be found of them that tempt him not, and showeth himself unto such as do not distrust him. For froward thoughts separate from the Most High, and his power, when it is tried, reproveth the unwise. For into a malicious soul wisdom shall not enter. So a foolish man would be a man that has a malicious soul. Wisdom ain't going to enter there, and it's not going to dwell or stay there very long. Because a man whose spirit ain't right, wisdom is going to flee from. For into a malicious soul wisdom shall not enter, nor dwell in the body that is subject unto sin. Right? So it's not going to dwell with those who are subject or who are operating in the flesh and not the spirit. For the Holy Spirit of discipline will flee deceit and remove from thoughts that are without understanding, and will not abide when unrighteousness cometh in. Because a man could have, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and have a level of prudence and discretion, and then at some point that leaves him. Well, that's all by the will of the Most High, right? So wisdom will not dwell in a malicious soul. Although, once again, one could have received wisdom and could have promoted it and lived and dwelt with wisdom for a period of time. But this is about staying the course, as the scriptures tell us, right? That he that endureth to the end, the same shall be saved. This is the book of 1 Corinthians, the 15th chapter. 1 Corinthians 15, and I'll start here at verse 33. It says, be not deceived, evil communications corrupt good manners. Verse 33, 1 Corinthians 15 in the NLT, don't be fooled by those who say such things, for bad company corrupts good character, right? So what relationship does light have with darkness? Good and evil can't dwell amongst each other. Light and darkness can't be, in the same place at the same time. Because light dispels darkness, and darkness is the absence of light, which such is the same with righteousness. Righteousness is the opposite of evil, and righteousness is the embodiment of the Most High. He's the image of righteousness. Verse 34, awake to righteousness and sin not, for some have not the knowledge of the truth or the knowledge of the Most High. I speak this to your shame. So some have not the knowledge of this truth, which is the knowledge of the Most High. And that is a shame, right? So evil communication, right? The way that you live, the conduct that you display, the things that you promote and propagate, that's all a part of your communication. How are you communicating? What are you conveying? We all are painting a picture, so to speak, on our spiritual canvas, which is the way we live and how we deal, with one another. So the picture that we're painting is before the Most High. And that picture is shown by the way that we actually live. And first and foremost, our duty as servants, ministers of the Most High, ministers and servants of God, Yahweh. Right? Now let's go here. This is another one that comes to mind through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai. This is Ecclesiasticus 21. Now go here to verse 26. It says, the heart of fools is in their mouth, but the mouth of the wise is in their heart. So your words and things you do, it says, is in your heart, as the scriptures tell us, loosely or roughly paraphrasing, that out of the mouth, speaketh the abundance of the heart. So what's in your mind is going to come out ultimately in the things that you say and in your communication. As we read, evil communications corrupt good manners. Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus 21 and 26, the heart of fools is in their mouth, but the mouth of the wise is in their heart. Verse 27, when the ungodly curseth Satan, he curseth his own soul. Let me read that again. Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus 21 and 27, when the ungodly curseth Satan, which is the adversary, or those that will be averse or will be against, he curseth his own soul. Really, he's speaking about his own self. Right? He's speaking about his own self. Now let's stay here in the book of Ecclesiasticus. Let's go back a little bit. Ecclesiasticus 18, in verse 26, it says, from the morning unto the evening, the time is changed, and all things are soon done before the Adawan. A wise man will fear in everything, and in the day of sinning, he will beware of offense, but a fool will not observe time. So the difference between a man that is foolish and a man that is wise is that a fool doesn't have, the foresight to understand the time that we are in and the time that he is in. Right? He won't observe the time. That's because he's in folly. He's in folly. Let's get this here. It's the book of Proverbs 12 in verse 15. Proverbs 12 and 15. And it says, the way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but he that hearkeneth unto counsel is wise. The difference is a man that hearkeneth unto counsel will be counted and found in the sight of the Most High as a wise man. Let's read that again. Proverbs 12 and 15, the way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but he that hearkeneth unto counsel is wise. So that makes a man wise when he has the ability, right, to understand truth and hearken unto the words of truth. Psalm 1 and 1, blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Most High, Yahweh, and in his law doth he meditate day and night. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of waters, that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. The ungodly are not so, but are like the chaff which the wind driveth away. Therefore the ungodly shall not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. So righteousness and wickedness can't dwell together. Verse 6, for the wicked knoweth the way of the righteous, but the way of the ungodly shall perish. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to the God of heaven and earth, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Honors be to the elect elders of the nation of Israel, Barak Yamlah Habayath Madawadab, which means blessings to the house of David, which you brothers labor in, day in and day out on the four corners of the earth, giving all diligence, making your calling and election sure, and to the Akyam wa Akwath, which are the brothers and sisters that also listen and believe on the glorious gospel being preached. And to you, I say Shalom. This is the brother Sagalah. I don't want about desire. This lesson was edifying to you listeners, to believing brothers and sisters. Shalom wa barakathum. Dum yad.